Health Organization and some local areas in the United States are now urging Americans who are fully vaccinated to wear masks indoors as a result of the Delta variant. This is the far more contagious, mutated version of the coronavirus, and there is some evidence that suggests that even individuals who have been fully vaccinated can get this variant, can be infected with this variant if they're in close proximity to someone. Now, the vaccine still works, and the important thing to keep in mind is that the vaccine protects you from being hospitalized or getting incredibly sick. So the likelihood of you getting hospitalized or dying from coronavirus, even this Delta variant, is minimal if you've been fully vaccinated. So let me give you the details and then I'll tell you why I personally disagree with the World Health Organization and Los Angeles County, which is now urging people to mask up indoors if they've been fully vaccinated. The World Health Organization officials have said that the Delta variant, now present in 92 countries, has the potential to become more lethal than others because of the ease with which it's transmitted. The agency's stance on face masks puts it at odds with the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which has dropped the mask requirement as more Americans are vaccinated and cases fall. Now, individual communities, though, are in fact recommending that people continue masking up, but not mandating it. The use of public or face masks in public spaces, including in Los Angeles County, where officials are suggesting people wear masks when inside grocery stores or retail stores, as well as at theaters and family entertainment centers and in workplaces when people's vaccination statuses are not known. But I want to be clear about something. As of Monday of this week, the number of new coronavirus cases in Los Angeles County were 3 new cases per 100,000 people. So the numbers continue dropping. The CDC says if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask indoors. But LA County needs to go above and beyond and force everyone to wear masks. Well, it's not a force, it's a guideline. It's not a mandate, but it's frustrating, right? Because I do think it's overkill, and I'm also frustrated at all the people who refuse to get vaccinated, because when you're not getting vaccinated, that allows the virus to continue mutating, and eventually it'll get to a point where it'll be a variant where the vaccine won't be resistant to it anymore. It's just, I want this to be over already.
Yeah, we all do, and so I agree. Share Anna's frustration. Let me just bifurcate it here. So one, the frustration with I hesitate, but I gotta say, the idiotic people not taking vaccines, not just right wingers. There's some fringe left wingers too, who are like the stars and the stones telling me not to take it or something. Mercury's in retrograde. No, take the goddamn vaccine, okay? Okay, so now because they're not taking the vaccine, the Delta variant is running amok, right? And so it is far more contagious. There's good news about it. The good news is that it appears to be less dangerous, which, by the way, is normal. Normally, eventually a virus becomes less deadly because if it kills too many of the hosts, it's less able to survive. So usually it adapts just like this, where it becomes more contagious but less lethal, right? So this is one of the variants that's doing that, and that's why the Delta variant is taking over, because it's so much more contagious. In the United Kingdom, now 99% of the cases are Delta variant, okay? So that's how contagious the Delta variant is. So meanwhile, we have idiots here in America, mainly right wingers, going, oh no, man, I'm tougher than a virus, man. Man, I'm so tough. Oh yeah, I'll just punch the virus in the face because the Trump told me to. So what am I gonna do with you, these losers, these idiots, right? And so, okay, I'm vaccinated. Before this came along, I'm less concerned, but I got kids. There's people that don't have a chance to get vaccinated yet, right? And these idiots are spreading it everywhere, pretending that there's like some windmill that they're chasing, an imaginary problem of Bill Gates tracking them through the 5G in the virus or whatever insane thing that they think. Meanwhile, there's a giant virus that's killed millions of people in the world, and they're like, what virus?
605,000 Americans alone have died from coronavirus. But look, that's the thing. If people refusing to get vaccinated had no impact on other people's lives, great.
Yeah,
great.
I
Don't
wouldn't
get
care
vaccinated.
at all. I'm done
too.
caring about you guys.
But the fact that their refusal to see this as a public health issue, like we need all people to work together on this. It's allowing for this mutation to happen, and then. Oh, honestly, I think health officials too. Like health officials don't think about the ramifications of the messaging that they're putting out there. So I'm specifically talking about Los Angeles County in this case. CDC says, look, the likelihood of someone who's been fully vaccinated getting sick from the Delta variant and then having to be hospitalized is almost non-existent. Them dying as a result, non-existent. The vaccine not only will lower your risk of contracting the virus, but it severely lowers the risk of you actually dying from the virus, getting hospitalized and dying. So that's what the CDC is saying. That's what several health officials, I've watched a number of interviews, read a number of statements from health officials, that's what they're saying. But LA County is like, no, just to be safe, if you've been fully vaccinated, wear a mask indoors anyway. Okay, we're also trying to convince people to get vaccinated. So if you're gonna force people to wear masks after they've been fully vaccinated indoors, then what's the point?
You're sending a message to everyone that the vaccine doesn't work.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, so guys, why do I even care about the Delta variant? As we were just saying, if you're vaccinated, you're likely going to be fine, right? And in fact, I want to get back to that in a second. But the Delta variant is putting more young people into hospitals. It could be a little misleading because a lot of the older people got vaccinated already, so it's not an accurate sample of the overall population. But if you got kids who cannot get the vaccine right now, kids are much less affected by coronavirus. But you worry a little bit. You worry a little bit because of these monsters running around who say, I don't care about your health, your kids' health, your parents' health. I don't care about you at all. All I care about is my freedom to be a dumbass, right? And so now, but I gotta share Anna's frustration and anger about the health officials, especially in LA too.
Can we just go to the video first?
Yeah.
Because look, I get it. Look, we've been very careful in how we talk about this story because we want to encourage people to do the right thing. So I'm not one of these anti-maskers, but I do think that particularly in LA County, where you see mismanagement all around, they do things that are actually counterproductive. So here's a health official speaking to Brian Williams about what the reality is of the variant and who should wear the mask and who doesn't necessarily need to. Watch.
That's why I think that the guidance, and what we've said, and I think the CDC said this as well, is that if you have medical conditions, if you're immunocompromised, you have conditions that reduce the efficacy of the vaccine, it may be safer for you to continue to wear those masks indoors. And that's what I am recommending as well. But if you're healthy, again, the risk here seems to be for mild disease in most cases, or asymptomatic disease. And that's where you need to use your personal judgment, acceptance of risk.
So if you're healthy and you've been fully vaccinated, again, the likelihood of you getting this variant, getting infected with it is minimal, but the likelihood of you getting hospitalized if you contract the virus is non-existent. And it's just, anyway, ridiculous.
Yeah, so look, the Moderna and Pfizer were about 95% effective against the normal version of coronavirus. Now they're a little less effective against the Delta variant. It drops into the 80s, but it's still a really good number. Johnson & Johnson is around 2/3 effective on the normal version, but on the Delta variant, they're not at all sure that it's going to work. And so you might need a booster. I have Johnson & Johnson. So that's an issue for me, and that's an issue for everybody who got Johnson & Johnson, right? That puts us back into some risk. Okay, now having said all of that, look, even if you get sick, as that expert just explained, it's a mild form of the sickness. You know what that is? That's a cold. So in the old days, before the vaccinations, when the right wing said, oh, it's just a cold, man, I don't need protection from a cold, you were wrong. It wasn't just a cold, it killed 600,000 people, right? But after the vaccine, it is basically just a cold. So now again, my kids aren't vaccinated, that's partly why I'm worried, right? And I know the kids are a lot less affected, right? So, but if the doctors and the scientists are all right, and we're not supposed to do politics, guys. This is a news show. We try to bring you the truth as much as possible. So I know Republicans were against the masks and the vaccines to begin with. Now the Democrats are like, no, pro-mask and vaccine no matter what, right? And that doesn't make sense either. When the scientists say, no, you get vaccinated, and even if you get sick, it's basically a cold, then listen to them. I don't give a damn about getting a cold. I don't care at all about getting a cold. I'm not gonna shut down my life for a cold. I'm gonna shut down my life to protect my parents so that they're not one of the 605,000 dead people, right? So it depends on the context. And given where we are now, an overreaction by whether it's LA County or anywhere else, right? That to say, all right, shut it all back down now, and everybody wear masks, and now you, like, is it gonna affect the restaurants again? Is it gonna affect the businesses again? No, we can't do that to protect against the cold. That doesn't make any sense at all.
I mean, there are kids dying on the streets of Los Angeles because of the homelessness issue, and they're talking about fully vaccinated people wearing masks indoors. LA County is full of the most incompetent lawmakers imaginable, okay? These local lawmakers are so pathetic and embarrassing. The way they mismanage every single issue. Look, Republicans are right when they talk about how awful LA has turned out to be as a result of the governance here. They're right about it. Now, their solutions are very different from what we want here, but at the end of the day, mismanagement is mismanagement, and I think they're sending the wrong message here with this mask guideline. Anyway,
I want to give the last word to one of our viewers. Matthias wrote in, it's because World Health Organization recommended using masks. They are concerned about the world population. That choice right now is the right choice, so maybe it doesn't make sense in the US, but they are concerned on the safety side. That is absolutely right. And I wanted to point that out because the World Health Organization takes into context that the great majority of the world is not vaccinated. And they are correct in their guidelines for the whole world. But when you get to America, where 66% of the adults have at least one shot of the vaccine, that is a completely different context. So if Democrats or whoever else is overreacting and panicking and telling everybody, but mask up again, etc., it's counterproductive and slightly dangerous because it'll lead to people getting less vaccines. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.